Picture this, it's 2025 and humanity has advanced leaps and bounds since the Industrial Revolution. Understandings in science, biology, bacteria, germs and hygiene have increased tenfold. You, a citizen of one of the largest countries in the world, are walking in public and suddenly need the toilet. Unfortunately, you live in a country called India, and there are no public toilets in a 10-mile radius. Tough luck, mate. You're going to have to go in the bushes and use a leaf as toilet paper when you're finished. And even if you reach the public toilet, it's actually just a hole in the ground with a shed built around it and probably hasn't been cleaned since the last 1,000 people have used it. In this video, let's examine the great struggle India has with toilets and the wider impact on hygiene that this has. Open defecation. First, let's get rid of all the pitter-patter and cut the crap. India is finally number one. Amazing, right? Well, it's number one in the amount of people who openly defecate, according to the World Health Organization. That's right, India has 11%, or 157 million people out of its 1.4 billion people who regularly openly defecate. That's a third of the world population who still openly defecates, which is around 460 million. Do you all remember the videos of Indian tourists and immigrants openly defecating in other countries? Not a good look, India. And a special message to the angry Indian netizens: don't use the excuse that India has the largest population in the world and therefore it makes sense to have the most amount of public poopers. Because China is not even on the list, yet they have a similar population to you. Argument destroyed. Now use that energy that you spend spamming the online forums and crying racism into building more toilets for your country and educating your fellow Indians on germs and hygiene. Now, to be fair to India, this number has dropped massively under the Swachh Bharat scheme, in which they constructed around 100 million additional household toilets. Naturally, a lot of these new toilets are just a hole in the ground and not connected to sewage pipes. Back in October 2019, Modi declared that India was open defecation free. He was met by open skepticism from experts, and why wouldn't he be? It was a total lie based on a small truth. That seems to be the behavior that Modi and his netizen supporters exhibit the most. Taking a small win, in this case the construction of millions of new toilets, and then blowing it up to say that your entire country is a superpower or whatever. Absolutely ridiculous. Air India toilet clog. I'm sure you all remember that Air India flight that had to return to its starting point after its toilets were clogged. It was discovered that items such as bags, rags, towels and clothes clogged up the toilets. This incident sparked widespread debate online, with many people criticizing the airline for poor upkeep and not daring to blame the customers. We all know that these are Indian netizens who are shifting blame onto the airline. It happened only 2 hours after takeoff, which is a sad indictment on Indian toilet etiquette. They found that 8 of the 12 toilets in business and economy class could not be used, meaning that it was not just one small group of Indians who did this. Imagine that, a plane full of sewage water that smells like last week's curry, along with overflowing dirty water, urine, bags, rags, clothes, towels and many other stuff. At that point, I would just do everyone a favor and open the door. That's a joke, by the way. Angry netizens. But in all seriousness, it speaks volumes on the level of education and knowledge of the average Indian when it comes to using a toilet and simple hygiene. I don't blame them if they've never used or seen a toilet before. It can be hard adapting to new technologies. This all goes back to hygiene and the knowledge about it that Indians have. Cultural issues are perhaps the most entrenched problem. For example, just look at how filthy the Ganges River is, having 1,400 times the acceptable rate of coliform bacteria, which is found in feces, according to an Indian government organization who monitors such things. Yet that fact did not stop hundreds of millions from celebrating the Kumbh Mela festival by plunging into the crap-filled river, submerging their whole body, and ending it by taking a drink. Yeah, not for me, thanks. Another more general example is the use of bare hands in eating food. Many countries have this tradition, but the thing is, these other countries don't have the massive toilet problems that India has. So let's get this straight. A large part of your population does not have access to toilets, yet they insist that they eat with their hands. That sounds like a one-way ticket to Diarrheaville, with a stop at food poisoning Stan and a transfer at Disgusting City. Their culture and traditions trump knowledge. They would rather stick to what they know, that is, living in poop-filled streets, rather than modernize and clean up their act. One thing to mention is the fact that there are taboos around menstruation, meaning women are forced to live less sanitary than they should. Also, they are scared to use public toilets in India due to violent sexual attacks. We've heard all the news stories, it's not a secret. And it's just another problem in a long list that India has to fix. Anyway, it's not just hygiene surrounding toilet usage, it's just hygiene and sanitation in general. Look at the streets of Delhi and you will see food vendors casually picking their ears and scratching their armpits while cooking and serving your food. One spicy chicken curry coming up with a side of earwax and spit. No thank you. This has become so widespread that it has gained a name, Delhi Belly, which is to highlight that you will get food poisoning if you eat this food. So, how does India fix these disgusting issues? Well, first, they have to accept that these issues exist. Modi and his Indian netizen supporters need to open their eyes and take their fingers out of their ears, like the kid causing a tantrum and shouting, "La la la, I'm not listening." Stop portraying your country as a superpower that has solved open defecation and sanitation, because right now it's more like a super pooper. Instead, start calling out your government on building good toilets and sewage networks that dispose of the waste properly. Then educate your populace. If they have never seen or used a toilet, then teach them what it is, what it does, and how it works. If that happened, then you wouldn't have had this embarrassing Air India clogged toilet incident. Also, teach them to wash their hands properly and tell the street vendors not to scratch their balls while cooking curry. Lastly, abandon that traditionalist hardliner mindset. I get that it's impossible for the BJP and Modi to do so. That's their whole political shtick at the end of the day, but all it does is keep you stuck in the Stone Age while other countries rocket past you and laugh at you in the process. In conclusion, although India has built millions of toilets and reduced open defecation by massive amounts in the last decade, we must remain skeptical because these are Modi's numbers. Also, there are still millions who openly defecate and do not have access to toilets, so the work must carry on. Of course, lots, if not most of these toilets are very shoddy and basic, but that's to be expected. Education on hygiene, sanitation and toilet usage would go far in helping India. It would stop such embarrassing mishaps, such as being caught defecating on beaches in Canada, clogging up airplane toilets and being known for Delhi Belly. There's still a long way to go for India. Let's see if they can achieve it. If you enjoyed this video, then please like, comment and subscribe. Thanks for watching.